welcome back to my channel. So obviously we are here for a read along of Ghosts of the Shadow Market, meaning this entire video is me reading through the book, reacting to its events and my assumptions and guesses of what's going on. So there is going to be lots of spoilers. Actually, there's going to be all the spoilers, so if you don't want to know what's going on in this book, this video is not for you and you need to leave. Bye. Can I just start by saying that I seem to be completely oblivious all the time as to when Cassandra Clare is going to release a new book. I walked into Dimmich today and saw it and I was like, that is my baby. Speaking of which, this entire book is following Jem and Tessa and their story. I'm actually not 100% sure about what's actually going on in the book, but obviously that's what we're about to find out when we start reading it. I'm really excited for this book. If you don't know already, I love James Carstairs. I love Jem. He is objectively my favorite character in this entire series. I have been waiting for this kind of book to come out forever and it's finally here and I didn't even know. I was very pleasantly surprised today when I walked into the shop and it was there. I had to just make a note of how many books this chick has released. Like, does she sleep? Most of her books only have like 2 or 3 parts, but this one has quite a lot, and it's like The Dark Art of Isis and it has the black pages of artwork, so I'm keen to see what those end up being. They've already mentioned Will as Mr. Herondale. So Alistair Carstairs just fully came in at Matthew and said that Charlotte had an affair with Henry with Gideon Lightwood. I was just innocently reading along. Nothing noteworthy has happened. It's really innocent, just kind of Jamie and Matthew being Parabatai and day in the life kind of thing. They're like having this cute friendship moment in the streets where like Matthew stole Jamie's hat and they were running in the streets and having a good time unglamoured, and it's like really cute. And then that section ends with later Matthew would look back and remember it as his last happy day. What? So at the beginning of the book, Matthew and Jem meet each other in the Shadow Market. Matthew buys this potion at a stall and he thinks it's a truth serum and he's going to give it to his mum or his dad to see the truth about the affair with Gideon Lightwood and yada yada yada. Anyway, he just put the serum in his mum's scones that he makes every morning with Cook and his mum nearly died. So obviously it was not a truth serum. Jem had to come and save Charlotte and fix everything, and then we find out that there was no affair. Gideon was just helping with family business and politics and all that kind of stuff, and that Charlotte was actually pregnant. Matthew killed the child because the child did not make it and died. Jem basically told Matthew that he should own up to it because keeping the secret and lying about it will eventually kill his soul, like inch by inch is what he said. Matthew just went cold and decided that he did not want to tell anyone and told Jem that he didn't know what he was talking about. So that's great. I really like Jamie. Jamie hasn't had a huge part of it. James, I should say, Will and Tessa's son. I'm really excited to see some more character development because Matthew's already kind of described a lot of character development to do with James, but I'm really excited to see where it goes. So far, I'm only read about that much, and this book is predominantly set in 1900. So, yeah. I just finished part 1 and it wasn't even like a big deal really, but it ended with Will and Jem just walking down the street and Will gave Jem his cane and Will said that it made his heart lighter when he saw Jem with it, and then it was just Ariadne and Anna has to be probably the most pure relationship I have ever read. It is so freaking cute and I can't wait to see where this goes. And Jem just found out that Tessa's dad was a Prince of Hell, meaning that her and Magnus are cousins. So I spoke a little bit too soon about Anna and Ariadne. Ariadne is kind of engaged to this dude called Charles and is going to marry him in a year and wanted to only date Anna for a year in secret and then break up with her and date this other guy. And Anna was obviously not okay with that, so Anna left Ariadne, even though Ariadne told Anna that she loved her. However, when she got home, Cecily, Anna's mum, gave her a suit that really fits her, where she doesn't have to wear Christopher, her brother's clothes anymore, and gave her the demon-sensing red jewel necklace that Isabel has in the Mortal Instruments. So that was really cool to see that passed down a little bit more. So the next little story that comes in the book is based in 1936, and it's basically this carnival that is like the Shadow Market, but there are mundanes everywhere. Brother Zachariah and sister Amelia are in there and they're checking it out, seeing what's going on, and It's really creepy. They basically had to go through this maze looking at memories that they really, really wanted to come true but knew would never happen, to get to the middle of this maze to find this greater demon that was controlling everything. And this greater demon is wearing a suit made of human skin with a mouth as a flower. I'm really, really, really grossed out. Amelia just made a deal with a demon! But it was to give Will and Jem a little bit of time in this random place where they were both young and free, and it was just for a little bit before Will died, because he's like on his deathbed, you know, and that's like not fun. So they're in the vision in their minds in Shanghai. It's just before Will and Jem did the Parabate ritual, and they're about to go and get dumplings, and Jem just said, "You have to try duck," and Will was like, "I can't wait to feast on my enemies." So Jem is currently in hospital. Tessa and Katerina are nurses in the war, which is really, really, really cool, and I'm glad that all of these gaps are being filled. Jem had a knife thrown through his shoulder clean through by a fairy, and it's gone black, and his veins around his neck and stuff is going black, and Katerina has no idea what's going on and is trying to get him to go back to the Silent City, but Jem won't go. Tessa's freaking out. So I said in a recent book review of The Red Scrolls of Magic that Cassandra Clare will take any excuse possible to mention Will and Jem, and now she's taken an entire book to do this to me. Jem is like dying in a bathtub, thrashing, screaming, he's in pain, he's gonna die. He starts to see Will, and it just makes it a lot worse when like Tessa is right there and it's the three of them and they're talking together about it, and Tessa was talking to Will's spirit, and so that chapter was clearly just filling in Tessa and Jem's relationship kind of from when Will died to when Jem stopped being a silent brother, so that when they obviously start dating again in the Dark Out of Ices, it's not random. And I have to also say, I keep forgetting that Tessa has an American accent, like she's from America. She's always just English in my mind. The entirety of the Infernal Devices is based in London. So we had been chilling in the early 1900s, but we've had a pretty dramatic time jump to 1989. So this should be interesting. Well, we now know if Will's demise was ducks, Stephen Herondale's was pigeons. We have recently been diving into the world of Celine and Stephen Herondale, and we're looking at the very early days of the Circle and Valentine and all that kind of stuff. Celine is apparently very, very, very in love with Stephen Herondale, which is kind of weird. The writing makes it sound really obsessive, I'm not gonna lie. And she just overheard Stephen saying that she was a child and all that, and she's been moping around Paris really dramatically for a really long time, which is literally me during high school. Anyway, Jem has found a lost Herondale. He's been searching for some Herondales recently. It's been kind of his mission over the last 36 years or whatever the time jump was. I think it might have been bigger than that. Jem found her, gave her the Herondale necklace. Little does he know, there will be more lost Herondales. Haha. So our little Celine made a little deal with Valentine. She broke into his apartment and made a deal with him that if Celine just allowed Valentine to go through with this plan that she figured out that he was doing, he would get her Stephen Herondale. He's married to Amethyst right now, but I really want to know a bit more about that. I was very, very intrigued with that entire storyline, but at the moment we've time jumped again to 2000 in New York. This is kind of the beginning of the Mortal Instruments time period now that we're going into. And I'm only halfway through the book, so I don't know where this is going at all. Raphael just said, the Morgenstern legacy will claim more victims. I do not intend to be one of them. And if you know what happens in Heavenly Fire, boy. That chapter was all about stopping this Yin Fen shipment that was going to come into New York in 2000. And it was focusing on Jace coming and living with the Lightwoods as well. So that was all entangled into one. And oh my god, the parallels, man. I probably subconsciously knew this, but it had never been put into my face until this moment. But Will and Jem's story parallels with Alec and Jace's story. And that is so cool. Jem obviously had to come on a boat to live
in London when his parents died, and then Jace had to come on a boat and live with the Lightwoods when his parents died, and Jem just witnessed that and saw the wheel of it happening again. It was even more meta because he got to witness it while he was stopping a Yin Fen shipment, which he also had to come face to face with that drug again. My heart broke a little bit. We also learn that Jem's staff has WH edged into it. But that was a really, really, really good story. So this next story is kind of based in 2012. The Shadow Market, it's more based on Alec and Magnus and helping Jem and Tessa with another little mission to do with lost Herondales. Again, why are they all lost? I just thought I would make a really quick note because nothing really has stood out except for the fact that there's this little child called Raphael, who Alec has nicknamed Raph, who really did not like Alec at the start, but now they are getting a bit close. I'm just reading this, and they are talking to the same witch that sold Matthew Fairchild the potion that nearly killed Charlotte, who is Tessa's son's Parabatai, in 2012. And I was like, whoa, flashback. So we just found out that Alec and Robert actually had a conversation about Alec becoming the Inquisitor before Robert died in the Dark Art of Isis. I forgot Robert had died until this moment, actually. So I'd always thought that Alec and Magnus had named their second child after Raphael, the vampire. This is that Raphael. And I'm thinking that Alec might potentially adopt Raph as his third child. And my brain only just clicked because I, for some reason, thought that they had Max, Raphael, and then Raph. At the moment, Tessa and Jem are again on the hunt for Rosemary because Rosemary contacted Jem on the necklace that he gave her all those years back. And so they are going to see what's going on and to save her life. Rosemary got killed by a fairy as soon as they showed up. So Tessa became Rosemary. Now they're on the look for Jack Crow, and because they're going to save the kid because that's what Rosemary wanted. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know how it took me so long to connect dots. Oh my god, my brain is exploding. Dude, I don't even know what to say to the camera because, like, I'm so fucked right now. You see me, like, staring at the wall? Okay, so earlier I said that Jack Crow reminded me of Johnny Rook. Well, they're the same fucking person. And Kit is the son that Jem and Tessa are trying to protect, but we like already knew that, and I just for some reason thought that it was completely unrelated. It's been so obvious this entire time that they've been looking for Kit. Also, Tessa almost died, but that's a thing of the past. Tessa is pregnant. I'm gonna cry. There are gonna be little Jem babies in the world, and that makes me really happy. My only qualm with all of that was the fact that Tessa didn't know that when she was pregnant, the change would be more difficult. She's been pregnant like 3 times. The next story, which I'm so excited to read, is about Ty and Kit. So we're gonna jump right on into that immediately. So this chapter is all about Livy as a ghost and her being a ghost with Ty at the Scholomance. She is currently with Jem and Tessa right now, kind of watching them because she's looking for Magnus. Tell her about something that she learned, some information that she overheard in Idris. Anyway, not the point. Tessa is about to give birth to Jem and Tessa's child, and Livy is shrinking and has decided that she wants to be a real girl again and is going to like put herself inside Jem and Tessa's baby and be a real girl again. Don't do that! She just realised what she was about to do and made all the windows in the room that they were in, the conservatory, explode while Tessa is literally in the middle of giving birth. So, she's like, sorry, I didn't mean to, Magnus. And Magnus is like... Should also add, while we're at it, that she also made dishes fall over in the LA Institute and made Drew's TV turn off. So her having no effect on the outside world is obviously not the case. So they found out that Livy was beginning to affect the real world because the further away she gets from Ty, or the longer she stays away from Ty, it makes her stronger and less human. Basically, she has to stay near to Ty, Ty has to stay near to her. Magnus also gave them the heron necklace that Kit had to use as a tether, and it was actually a necklace that Livy could hold. The last chapter is just kind of flicking violently between Jem, Tessa, and Kit and their really happy family, which is literally amazing. And Janice and his double life as Jace. So Janice is kind of just walking around trying to learn about Jace's life so that he can kill Jace, replace Jace, and be with Clary. So a lot is going on right now. They're all having a good old time in Magnus's apartment. And he's just being creepy on the outside. And he's like really happy for everyone. And then the minute the real Jace walked in, he was like, I'm gonna kill him. Creepy Janice just approached Clary and gave her her stele and kissed her. And it was weird. And I really want to know really badly what happens. I only have 10 pages left. Also, Jem, Tessa, and Kit and Mina is so cute. It's so cute. I just finished it. Kit is going to train with Jem to be a shadow hunter to fight the evil fairies, and it's going to be a good time. And Janice is in cooperation with the Sealy Queen, and he is under the impression that him, Clary, and Ash are all going to live happily ever after. We'll see about that. This book was 617 pages of reminding me how and why I love James Carstairs. He is a good enough character for Cassandra Clare to write a 600-page book about how awesome he is. So anyway, this book was amazing. It reminded me a lot of things that I had forgotten over the series, because let me tell you, there were heaps of things that I should have understood that I had forgotten, that I didn't put together. For example, I should have known that Kit was Kit and that they were looking for Kit and that they were looking for Kit's family. Don't know how my brain didn't connect that. Everyone else's probably did. But you know what? That's okay, because we figured it out in the end. There were a lot of things in this book, I will say, that I want to know more about. I want to know more about Stefan Hernell and Celine and how their entire story kind of unfolds, because that was a bit of a loose end and we kind of have to just assume, which is fine, but you know, I would like to know the truth. But it ended so beautifully with Jem, Tessa, and Kit and Mina and their little family, and oh my goodness, I could not have hoped for anything more in my life, guys. But anyway, this was a really good book. I would recommend you reading it. I feel like it's pretty necessary to read this going forward. It fills in a lot of gaps and it will probably explain a lot of things later on down the track. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in my next video.